And you, and you, and you. And you were there. Some of it wasn't very nice, but most of it was beautiful.
Recording Hungman. Hello.
Hello, Bryan.
Howdy. How are things?
It was snowing here yesterday briefly.
That's bonkers. It's time for that shit to be over.
It's time for the Mother's Day snow, which happens every Mother's Day.
So does it really? I didn't, I would have thought that by, April 15th it'd be over. No.
Nope.
Not so much, huh?
Yep. Nice change of pace.
I managed to go get a haircut yesterday and was not that I really care about my hair too much, and was noticing during the haircut that the woman cutting my hair was spending half her time looking out the window. And you've heard the line of ugly people that are in TV that they have a face made for radio. I have a haircut made for podcast today. It's like, yeah, looks a bit like I've got mange under the headphones, but so oh well. I paid $16. So
no one can see it.
Right. Thank God.
And I refuse to look. So welcome to Dream Idiots. And if you've been listening, thank you so much. If you've been recommending it to a friend and sharing it, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Continue to do so. You can share it via Facebook. You can grab someone's phone and just go ahead and subscribe for them. Preferably that should be someone you know. I don't recommend doing that on the subway or, don't do that to your Lyft driver or what have you.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. It's fine.
Yeah, just see what happens.
Right.
I believe you were going first this week, Bryan. Is that correct? I believe it is.
I am. I think I am. I am up first.
All right.
Yeah, but to reiterate what you were saying, yes, like, subscribe, share, and if you have any comments, you can email us dreamidiotspodcast@gmail.com and let us know. And so here we go. So I should say that I'm the type of person who generally, at parties and social settings, I much prefer spending my time having a handful of 20-minute conversations and not trying to meet every single person in the room for 90 seconds. I'm not a social butterfly. It's it's a tool of the introvert. It minimizes anxiety in a social setting. It's also a great way to create an opportunity to have an interesting conversation with people. And people generally like talking about themselves and their interest in their activities. And I generally don't enjoy talking about myself if I can possibly avoid it. So if you're willing to ask a few probing questions and dig a bit deeper into people, you can have it'd be a pretty entertaining time, because you're asking about something very specific, and it's it doesn't really matter that it's not important. It's just it's a great way to get people to talk, and you can have a good time without having to really talk about yourself. And so it's that nature of sort of my personality that I think drew my interest into what is called the ignoble prize. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
You have not? Okay. So you will like this. So the ignoble prize, IG space Nobel, it's just a takeoff on the Nobel Prize. The ignoble prize, it's a satire, basically. It's been awarded, that they have an award ceremony every year, every September, at Harvard University. It started in 1991, and it celebrates 10 unusual or trivial achievements in scientific research. And its stated aim is to, quote, honor achievements that first make people laugh and then make them think, unquote. Maybe this podcast could one day be a nominee. I don't know. We'll see. But it's basically it's a pun, obviously. It parodies the existing Nobel Prize, and it's a play on the word ignoble, not noble, right? So my very first exposure to this prize came one time. I was channel surfing, or actually it may have been on my phone, because I surf through various programs that are on the BBC. There's a program on there called QI, which is just a panel show, typically with 4 or 5 comedians just yammering about stuff. I was watching one episode, and they cut away to a person who was in the audience, who is this guy named Chris McManus. He's at University College London, or at least he was at the time. This was probably 10 or 12 years ago. And he had been a nominee that year for the Ig Nobel Prize in Medicine. And so just to reiterate, these are tongue-in-cheek awards. Basically, they're made to, sort of be a little bit silly. And so I judge this guy had this thought just independently, completely on his own. I'm not really sure that in depictions in art, Michelangelo's David and a lot of other art of that period, the fact that the male genitalia, typically one testicle is larger and lower, the left testicle is always larger and lower than the right. And he decided to investigate this and figure out, well, why is that the case in all this art? Was that true at the time? Is that true now? So his research, it says his excruciatingly balanced report was called "Scrotal Asymmetry in Man and an Ancient Sculpture." And he was the tongue-in-cheek award winner for medicine for that year, which I think was 2012. And so here are just a few of the other nominees.
A very symmetrical year, by the way. No way.
Exactly. It should have been 2017. They should have waited. Right? 1997.
2002 would have been better.
So just because I thought they were incredibly funny, these are just a few of the nominees and winners from past years. This is not a complete list. There is a full list you can go and look at. I didn't go look on YouTube. I guarantee you there is video of this ceremony on YouTube somewhere. There has to be. And so it should also be noted that some guys like McManus apparently found this to be funny and and enjoyable. Some nominees are much less amused when they get nominated for these awards. And so first year was 1991. Just going to rattle off a few of them here. In biology, a guy named Robert Clark Graham was nominated in the field of biology because he pulled together what was called the Repository for Germinal Choice, a sperm bank that accepted donations only from Nobelians and Olympians. Yeah, hello. It's basically racism, eugenics.
Mm-hmm.
That's always fun. Jacques Benveniste got the award in chemistry that first year. He's described as a, quote, prolific proselytizer. So, fuck you. I already hate this guy. But he had the persistent discovery, quote unquote, that water, H2O, is an intelligent liquid and it has memory. It actually, in some limited fashion, is sentient. I don't really quite understand why he'd think that water had memory. But in this guy's estimation, this is his explanation behind homeopathy. All right. Okay. In education, the winner for education for 1991 was a guy you've heard of, probably, Dan Quayle.
I remember him. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. At the time, he was U.S. vice president. He is credited in the award ceremony for that year as being, quote, a consumer of time and occupier of space. And for demonstrating better than anyone else the need for science education. The winner in medicine that year, Alan Kligerman, invented Beano. That seems like he's a worthy winner. And then the Ig Nobel Peace Prize winner for 1991, Edward Teller. He's also known as the father of the hydrogen bomb.
Oh. So
in that case, the Peace Prize they're being a little bit ironic there, I think, probably.
Yes.
Daryl Gates won it the next year, the former LAPD, whatever he was, chief of police and certified racist, that scumbag. A few years later, the Reverend Sung Young Moon.
Oh, very nice. Okay. Of the Moonies. Yeah.
Yes, of the Moonies. He won the award for economics because he brought efficiency and steady growth to the mass marriage industry.
He certainly did.
Yes, yeah. Okay, there's a feather in your cap. In astrophysics, do you remember Jacques Van Impe?
I remember the name, but I don't remember the.
Yeah, he's a
IMPE, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember the specifics.
I blanked this guy. I'm sure it was scarring. Late night televangelist, crackpot of the same ilk that they're all from. He and his wife Rexella won for their discovery that black holes fulfill all the technical requirements for the location of hell. because
Oh.
all science is actually just
I,
religion.
lo- I remember the late night show where Rexella fought Rodan. That was my favorite. That was
Right. Yeah. Nut jobs. So engineering, I'm not sure what year this was. One year, Donald J. Smith and his father, Frank J. Smith, of Orlando, because of course, Florida, they won the engineering award that year for patenting the comb over. Vital. Literature, 1 year presented to the American Nudist Research Library of Kissimmee, Florida. Go Florida, for preserving nudist history so that everyone can see it. In medicine, presented jointly to Stephen Stack of Wayne State University, and James Gundlach of Auburn for their published report, The Effect of Country Music on Suicide.
And their answer was yes.
Yes, the one-to-one correlation between the two. In public health, presented to Jillian Clark of the Chicago High School for Agricultural Sciences for investigating. Sorry to laugh before I finished reading. For investigating the scientific validity of the 5-second rule when you drop something on the floor. When you drop food on the floor, yeah. Unfortunately, I think the results of that study basically showed that the 5-second rule is complete bullshit. Like once it hits the floor, you're now ingesting bacteria. Congrats. And this one actually going to a few that are more recent. I remember seeing this in passing on Facebook or somewhere in the past few years. In 2018, in the field of medicine, Mark Mitchell and David Wartinger, these guys used a roller coaster to hasten the passage of kidney stones. Apparently it actually worked, because you're subjecting the body to G forces, and it helped the process. It helped you pass it. So the whole, people screaming on roller coasters. Well, why are they screaming? Well, two reasons perhaps, right?
I wonder if it's kind of like lithotripsy when they disintegrate it using sound. I wonder if there's some element of literally shaking the stones apart with G-force. I mean,
I don't know. Could be.
Geez.
And then a couple here from just in 2021. The last 2 years, the event was not held as a live event because of COVID. So they were just done via Zoom, done online, in some capacity. There's a whole team of probably biologists of some form. I remember seeing this in passing online as well. I'm not going to read all these names. It's like 10 or 12 names. But this team determined, they ran an experiment to figure out whether it's safer to transport a rhinoceros upside down or right side up. Because they had to move some animals. I don't quote me on this because I'm working from memory. They're moving animals from one animal preserve to another in Africa. They knock the animals out, and there is video footage. I remember seeing it of this, I don't know, 2,000-pound rhinoceros having all 4 legs tied and then airlifted upside down, and versus putting it in the crate and carrying it in the crate, it was carried that way, and apparently was successful. So
safer for the animal or safer for the handlers?
Safer all around, I judge.
Oh, okay.
And the animal was still the animal's unconscious either way, and it wound up being a simpler, maybe because of the lower center of gravity. I don't know. Lower center of gravity perhaps made it easier because the animal's just exposed to the air. I don't know. But anyway, they figured out you can in fact, tie a rhino this way and just pick it up. And then this is probably hands down my favorite of all the ones that I read about. The 2021 Ig Nobel Prize for Peace went to Ethan Besaris, Stephen Nalway, and David Carrier for testing the hypothesis that humans evolved beards to protect themselves from punches to the face. So well earned award there. So if this is an event that interests you, it's held every fall in September, and it is recorded